When you hear adverb, you start thinking about the verb, right? Because adverbs define verbs. These adverbs are different groups and they have different functions. So in this level, we'll speak only about the adverbs of frequency. Later on in the course, we'll speak about all the other types. What is the difference? What's the difference in their position in the sentence? And so on. But first, let's start with the adverbs of frequency. And something that you're quite familiar with already, present simple. When you form present simple, you put s at the end of the verb when talking about he, she, it, right? The question here is when you use present simple. So far, you know that you use present simple when we speak about something which happens every day, or all the day, or usually. Li. You see it? It finishes in ly. So this is the first adverb of frequency that you know without knowing that you know it. And it's not only the usually as an adverb of frequency. The other ones that you use with present simple are always, usually, often, sometimes, hardly ever, never. If you have a problem with the translation of any of these, please check a dictionary. So the first thing that you notice, in the previous video, I told you that the adverb is formed by the adjective plus ly. Yes, this is the general rule, but not all of the adverbs. And here's your example. All of these are adverbs of frequency. They show how often one action happens. Usually, hardly ever, they have the normal ly ending. But the other words, as always, as often, or as never, they have completely different spelling. So be careful and think what kind of speech you are using while you are talking or writing. And here are some examples of adverbs of frequency in sentences. I always have eggs for breakfast. It means that I wake up and every morning what I do is eggs for breakfast. And it's really true. After that, do you usually go to work by car? Do you usually go to work by car? She doesn't often cook. You see, the adverb goes in front of the verb after the negative auxiliary verb. After doesn't, before cook. She doesn't often cook. We are sometimes late. We are sometimes late. Remember this sentence. I hardly ever watch TV. I never come late. Never in front of the verb. We are sometimes late, sometimes after the verb. Okay, let's look at some more examples like this and try to understand what the rule is. I always have eggs, adverb, in front of the verb. Do you usually go? Usually, adverb, in front of the verb. Doesn't often cook? Often, adverb, in front of the verb. The same in the last example. I hardly ever watch TV. Watch, verb, hardly ever, these two words are one adverb and it is in front of the verb. But in the fifth and sixth sentences, you see something different. We are sometimes late. I am never late. The verb here is the verb to be. Its forms are and am. And the adverb here comes after the verb, after the form of the verb to be. Which means what? That when we have a verb, just a normal meaningful verb, we put the adverb in front. I never come late. But when the adverb is a form of the verb to be, am, is, are, the adverb of frequency comes after the verb to be. I'm never late. Please remember this one. It's one of the things that people make mistake with quite often when they speak, when they write. It's really all the time you may see something like that. Enough theory. The next step to practice and to see what you've remembered. So the PDF? It's only one exercise waiting for you here. And what you need to do is to write the sentences with these adverbs. The adverbs are in brackets. Just please write them down in the sentences. See you in the explanatory section.